All right, welcome back to another episode. Navi is officially at this point in Florida, and we're back in the shop with Ivan and Jeet's bus, and in today's video, we're gonna be working on Jeet sheet metal, getting the top hatches on, running some electrical, and seeing how far we can get this thing moving along. Let's get into it. All right, first job on the list is gonna be putting these roof hatches in. Jeet is not gonna have either of these skylights that he was originally gonna put in this bus. He just decided to block them all off. He's gonna have about a 10-foot deck in the back on this bus, and then the entire rest of it's gonna be solar panels. Potentially, he's talking about doing some type of roof extension, but that doesn't need to be done before spray foam. We need to get these in before spray foam. So what I'm gonna end up doing is taking these sheets that Jeet already cut. I'm gonna be putting rivets kinda, you know, I don't know, just all the way around. If you look over there, you can kind of see we already did a hatch on Ivan, so pretty similar. The idea is to get the hatches in, and then we'll elastomeric the roof, do the silicone roof, get it all done, sealed up. Yeah, no leaks unlike Ivan. I don't know where the leak is, but he's got a leak somewhere. All right, I've got one of the hatches is in for the most part. I've got all the holes drilled for the rivet gun, so I gotta remove it now. We're gonna caulk it, put it back down, and then I'm gonna go around and start riveting that sheet down. Then we move on to this side. I screwed this one down, so it's kind of already set, but I still have to do all the mark outs for the rivets. I'm choosing to do it at 3-inch increments around the outside. It's kind of what I did on Ivan, seemed to have worked really good. I mean, the actual hatch has never leaked, so. Pretty much, now that we have all the holes drilled, to take it all apart. There's a lot of putting things together and then taking them apart. All right, I know that it's a little dark in here, so it's probably hard to see me, but I want to just show you the inside before we finished up the holes so you can see exactly where the holes are ending up. Essentially, the holes are going through the sheet metal and then into the beam. So it will be pretty strong in terms of ending up in the actual frame rail of the bus rather than just being into the sheet metal. Then it would just be kind of floppy. So it's just gonna be a complete drop-in replacement. This whole section will eventually get spray foamed in and then it'll be good to go. This front one, on the other hand, this one is going to get a max fan in it. So after we seal it, patch it, we'll eventually be cutting a 14 by 14 inch hole in this one, and then we'll drop a max fan in there, and Jeet will have fan in the front, deck in the back, solar panels in the front. I don't know what else he wants to do. We're just putting the hatches in right now. Jeet's back on the bus. He just got out of work, so he's back here in the shop. We're both gonna go up on the roofs now that I have a friend who can help.
Whoa, friend. Whoa. I just live with you.
We got a lot more done this afternoon than we are gonna get now. Since we have two people, it's gonna be a lot easier to put the rivets down, hold the sheet in place, and then someone can be caulking while we're doing that at the same time. It looks like the paint's dry, so I think we can start moving forward. So, Jeet, you don't even know what I did. You should probably peek up here.
Let me get my stilts on.
Jeet, you might just go through the hole.
Oh, go through the... Peek a Jeet.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
Peek a Jeet.
We're trying to build a bus here.
Yeah, and have fun while we're doing it.
Oh my gosh. How does anything ever get done around here?
Slowly. Takes 10 minutes, right?
Everything takes 10 minutes. So it's painted, primed. Now we just gotta put the sheet on, caulk, and rivet.
This looks like a solid number 1, or a 7, or a 3, or an 11.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Prime numbers.
Oh, jeez. Just cut. Just cut.
These holes, okay, I'm matching up.
Pretty close.
Okay, no, they're spot on.
Yeah.
On here?
Yeah. All right, both hatches. Both hatches are in and done. The next plan is we're going to be cutting the 14 by 14 inch hole for the max fan, because Jeet actually still, ooh, can't focus, there we go. The max fan, which Jeet got a long time ago, and he was like, hey, we're gonna install this in the summer. That never happened.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, so now we have it. Now we're gonna put it in at this point. I have this really wonderful thing with all my friends where I tell them, hey, I'll help you do that. And then it might just take me a few weeks or like sometimes months, or as Dale knows, Dale, I will put your solar system in very soon, like next month. But like, it eventually gets done. So at this point, MaxxFan is going in right there. You good? All right, so we have the MaxxFan up here. We've got to unbox it, pull out some of the schematics, make sure that we have the hole kind of where we exactly want it. I did want to point out that we made these hatches up here for this bus. We, drilled all the holes. We're gonna have to cut a 14 by 14. But in reality, if you want to, you guys can go check out our good friend Luke from Schoolie.com, previously Midwest Wanderers. He lived with his family on a bus for a long time, and now he runs a really cool company making metal manufacturing parts for your school bus. We do have a discount in the description. So if you don't want to necessarily like go through all the work that we're going through and you're just like, I want a hatch, one hatch, done. I don't want square sheet metal. I don't need any extra. You guys can go check that out. I'll put a link down in the description. All right, we decided really quickly that Jeet and I are going to play some screws versus rivets tic-tac-toe on the checkerboard that we just, or checkerboard, the tic-tac-toe board we just made before we put the MaxxFan in. How do we know who goes first?
You go first.
Okay.
You go first.
All right.
All right, let's draw the boundaries again. Oh, bold, bold. Forcing my hand there, bud. Dang it. No one wins. Yay.
Perfect. All right. Oh, no, that corner.
Yeah, it's in.
So last night we headed back to the house. We decided that we wanted to let the primer really cure up. We got the shop really warm and then just kind of let it cool down throughout the night. So I guess the next thing to do on the list is going to be what I was supposed to do last night, which is finish up the MaxxFan. It should be a fairly quick install. Just got to drill some holes around the outside and then just pretty much drop it into its hole. We're not going to have to do any of the interior casing at this point because we have to finish spray foam and all the plywood first. If you're interested in a bit more of an in-depth video on installing a MaxxFan, I did post one like 4 or 5 years ago or something. It's a bit more in-depth, kind of just focused on specifically the MaxxFan install, so if you want to check that out, I will link it down below. If not, I'm just going to get to this one and then, just get it in, because this should go pretty quick. And then we can move on to the next job, which I don't know what the next job is, but there's always something to do on buses, and, well, we've got 2 in here, so. Okay, so the MaxxFan is installed. It's literally just as simple as it looks. In terms of putting a MaxxFan in, it's cut a 14 by 14 inch hole. I'm gonna head down this ladder on Ivan. And then the one part that we didn't do is obviously put lap sealant around, seal all the different joints, and then, we should be good to go. But once again, we're gonna wait until spring, get the bus all painted, do it all at once, but it's pretty much installed. I'm forgetting the vent. I wanted to show you guys the inside. Okay, so the last piece, which will not go in for quite some time until we're pretty much like, got the ceiling in and everything, is this last piece of shroud. So this piece will eventually slide right up in there like that, and that's what the finishing looks like that a lot of people probably seen in their RVs, buses, vans, and stuff. But we'll have to cut it and trim it to the thickness of the ceiling, and then that will be in last. All right, walking around the bus, I'm thinking Jeet mentioned he marked out upper lights for LEDs, kind of like on Ivan, I've got these 3 lights on the side for camping and hanging out outside. He said he marked. He did. He marked out some spots where he wants his lights put in. So Jeet's gonna put in, he's putting these lights in around the outside. So if you look at Ivan, it would be like, switch those out for these. 2 on this side. I think 2, maybe 1 on that side. There's a light bar going in the back and then a front light bar going on the front. But all that's getting wired before spray foam. So, got to get these in. Okay, well, we got all 3 in. 2 on this side where Jeet marked them out, and then the one that we already saw on this side. I'm gonna start wiring the inside of these at this point, where all of these light switches are gonna end up in the front area right by the staircase, so when Jeet walks into the bus or he's standing outside, he can just reach in and flip the switches, or if he's inside, he can reach and flip the switches to kind of help him back up, or you know, if he just wants to see what's outside when he's in a boondocking spot. This is really similar to the way that I have Ivan hooked up, same as Navi too, but Navi's not here anymore. I had the light switches right here, so essentially this one, which doesn't work right now because it's not plugged in. We need to plug in the bus. Let's plug in the bus. Oh, there we go. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So the first one does this side of the bus. The second one does the other side of the bus. And then this one does the back of the bus, which I think you can just see it reflecting off the garage door. And then this one is the main interior, which allows us to, you know, see all the lights. We're gonna be doing a similar idea in Jeet's bus. Of course, nothing spray foamed or framed or anything, so there's really nowhere to put the wires. We're just gonna hang them right here for now. So I'm gonna wire those 3 lights. One light that he doesn't have yet didn't come in the mail, and then we gotta run one up to the dash for one over there, but that one also still has to get installed. So a lot of prep work. It all comes together in the end. I swear it does. You like them?
I like them a lot.
Doesn't it make you just feel like things are moving forward just a little bit?
This is the smallest thing and one of the easiest things, but oh my gosh.
I know, and they work. You just gotta flip a switch. Hey, it's not working. Sorry, Jeet, I forgot to wire them.
Do we not put the switch in?
Nope.
Oh no.
No, that's
oh,
what you're
no.
doing. You gotta help me wire them now.
Oh no.
Now, I know a lot of you out there are probably watching me put these lights in, put the Max fan in, and you're probably thinking like, wait a second, Mike, you didn't caulk, you didn't waterproof, you didn't even paint or prime yet. And you're 100% correct. I sure as heck didn't do any of those things yet.
Not do what?
I didn't do any of those things.
Oh man.
Yeah, and that's because we're just test fitting everything. We're starting to do the wiring. We're just getting them all done. These lights will come back out, and then we're gonna be painting, priming, caulking, and then reinstalling them right before we do spray foam, actually. So right now, test fit, you know, so yes, we will still have to seal and caulk and do all that in a future video, just in case anyone out there is building a bus and is wondering, don't do this without any type of waterproofing. You will get a leak in your bus.
And not the fun kind.
What kind of fun kind of leak could you
Have you not had potato leek soup? That's the fun kind. A little bit of butter and potatoes, and then it's soup.
We've almost got them all wired. Jeet's been putting in these zip ties, which I'll show you actually. These are pretty cool. They've got little holes in them if you can see that, so that you can actually put a screw through it, hold it in, and then zip tie it so that we can hold it up here. One thing that I like to do when I'm wiring up buses, we would normally have a bit of strapping in here already that we can use, but since we're just using metal right now and we're trying to just keep moving ahead. So one of the cool things is that we can feed all the wires through these zip ties, and when we're completely done, we just can pull them tight, and then everything will be kind of held up against the wall for when we do strapping, and then we can mount them into the strapping, and then all this is gonna get spray foamed in. Jeet's just gotta do the last one for the front light bar, and then we can tie all these wires up nice and good, and then we'll move on to putting the front light bar in, get that mounted, and then all of them are at least, you know, temporarily mounted for this point.
Oh, nice. Oh, no.
We got preliminary wiring all done. Everything's all nice and tight and organized, and eventually, like we were saying before, the lights will go there. We'll run a main all the way back to his solar system, which will eventually go back in that area. But at this point, we're moving on to the next light. We gotta get this guy in here, this light bar. I looked at it a bit before and figured out kind of where he wanted it versus how we can mount it. And it's gonna end up going right up into that spot right there. And then we just got to get the bolts on the inside. I'm going to say that this should be pretty easy because I already looked at it. But until we start doing it, everything takes 10 minutes.
There's a marking.
Well, those go for locks. Ay, ay, ay. Hold. Light bar is mounted, so we had this grand idea where if you mount the light bar, you have to grab a battery and try to test it. So we grabbed an old battery over there. It's got about 11.9 volts in it. It's enough that it's at least going to turn this thing on. It won't be at full 100% bright because we're not, you know, at the full voltage that we need. But I mean, it's still going to be 11.9 volts bright. Do it, do it, do it, do it.
Doing it. Hang on, I gotta.
Oh wow, you really got to pick it up.
I do, yeah. Lock your eyes.
Yep.
I'm doing it.
Oh my god. Woo. Wow.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, I gotta step back.
Black goes to red,
Yep, black to red, red to black.
and then negative goes to positive.
Yep.
Boom.
Wow.
That's actually very bright.
It is really bright.
Huh. Hey, Mike,
Yeah?
look over there.
Look over where?
There.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm looking. That's where the camera.
Is that your future?
Well, light bar officially works. Definitely not wired, definitely not sealed, definitely not caulked. Neither are all the other ones. But that's okay. We got all the lights in, got the max fan in, roof hatches and all that. We'll see you next time.
Do everything halfway.